Hi, we did a conditioning experiment on our psychology professor. Here's what we were trying to do, here's our raw data, and here's the result. Were we successful? But let's slow down a bit and find out why we were unsuccessful. First off, what even is conditioning? One type of conditioning is called classical conditioning. This is when two stimuli are paired. For example, if you bring a dog its food and ring a bell at the same time, the dog will start to associate the bell with the food, so then if you ring the bell even without bringing it food, the dog will get excited. The other type of conditioning is operant conditioning, which teaches behaviors through rewards and punishments. The four kinds of operant conditioning are: positive reinforcement strengthens a behavior by giving something good. For example, by giving a child a piece of candy or a good job sticker. Negative reinforcement, which strengthens a response by taking away something bad. For example, when you get up in the morning, you turn off your annoying alarm. Positive punishment, which is when you are given something bad. For example, when you speed, you are punished by getting a speeding ticket. And negative punishment, which is when something good is taken away. For example, when video game privileges are taken away from a child. The goal of our experiment was to condition the professor to rely less on the projector and the textbook to teach us. To change this behavior, we repeatedly asked questions until she answered what we wanted. We were hoping that this would lead her to lecture more instead of presenting something and having us ask a bunch of questions about it. The type of operant conditioning we used was negative reinforcement. Our negative stimulus was us constantly asking questions. When the professor lectured more, we took away those questions so that she would be more inclined to lecture more instead of presenting. In the data collection portion of our experiment, I recorded the total amount of class time in minutes, the total amount of lecture time in minutes, the total time of student work time in minutes, how many questions were asked by the students, how many slides that the teacher used in presenting, and any unusual behavior. I then calculated the percentage of lecture time and the percentage of work time out of the total class time of the day. Unfortunately, this data did not show much. The percentages varied and there was no discernible pattern. Therefore, there was no trend as a result. The conditioning was unsuccessful. Here are the three core ideas that caused the experiment to fail and what I would change if we were to have another chance. Number 1, clarity and control of plan. With roughly 30 students in the classroom, it was hard to come up with an idea that we all agreed with and that had enough details so that everybody could understand what was going on, especially in the short amount of time that we had. This caused our plan to be very loose, without solid boundaries, and without direction for the students who were participating in the conditioning experiment. Number 2, time given for experiment. Our class meets 3 times a week with 1 hour for each session. Our experiment window lasted only 2.5 weeks. With such a large interval in between class times, including the weekends, it was hard to condition a constant behavior. This would have worked better if our class met every day, or if the classes were longer sessions, or if our study was longer, say 2 months. A larger amount of time could significantly help the results of the experiment. This would give us much more time to gauge the reaction of the professor, and much more time to refine our plan. Number 3, full participation and enthusiasm. If we had made a more concrete plan, the students in the classroom may feel more inclined to participate. there was not many students asking questions. This resulted in a lack of results, seeing as there was no significant change that would be trying to condition the professor's behavior.